Slavery is a cruel and extremely oppressive system that many believe to have gone extinct. Since every country worldwide has abolished slavery as of 2007, the issue of modern-day slavery isn't considered to be a very pressing issue. The sad truth to this is, according to the Lot Free Foundation, approximately 46 million people are enslaved today. Until one night, when I was walking around the Seattle Center, I was under the impression that there was no such thing as modern-day slavery. It was that night that I encountered a billboard that said, "Stop human trafficking." That is when I began my journey to fight human trafficking through the establishment of sustainable English education. After delving into what human trafficking was, I was horrified with what I had learned. Not only are there slaves in almost every single country worldwide, but that the human trafficking rates are substantially higher in Southeast Asian countries, specifically Cambodia. Cambodia's high human trafficking rates are a main consequence of the Khmer Rouge's genocide of the Cambodian people from 1975 to 1979. This genocide wiped out much of Generation X, those who would be in their 40s and 50s today, who had any level of higher education. Because of this, Cambodia's population today is disproportionately comprised of seniors and very young children. And as the survivors of the genocide have focused on living life day to day, over the years, the well-being of Cambodia's children has been largely overlooked and their education ignored. My deep passion for justice and equality led me to CUSP, or the Cambodia University Scholarship Project Organization. CUSP takes bright, impoverished Cambodian students from the poorest and most remote villages without an access to a high school and bring them to stay in their dorms in the Kampong Thom province. Here, they provide the students with room, board, and access to the local high school, as well as a nightly 2-hour English class. CUSP's goals, similar to mine, are to not only provide these children with an access to an education, but to develop their conversational English skills so that they are able to get a job and escape poverty, ultimately escaping the risk of being taken advantage of through human trafficking. After multiple meetings with the head of CUSP, Redmond, I decided that I wanted to travel to Cambodia to teach English to the younger children in the village English classes and to the CUSP high school students. I had 2 goals in mind for the trip. One was to work with the 36 CUSP high school students. Number 2 was to educate and help teach English to the younger children of the village English classes, as well as to learn and identify the best ways to foster education for children of that age in the village setting. In the months leading up to the trip, I encountered many obstacles, the main one being fundraising. In order to establish English education in a sustainable way in both the villages and for the CUSP high school students, I decided that I needed to raise $5,000 that would go towards purchasing vital learning materials for both the CUSP dorm students and the village English classes. And this wasn't easy, as I had to reach out to many businesses, friends, and family. And the fact that time wasn't on my side made it even harder to achieve my goal of raising the money, which in the end I ended up doing. On top of this, I spent many hours researching Cambodian history, how to teach conversational English, and deciding on which items that I would purchase and bring with me on the trip. I also spent many hours laminating the hundreds upon hundreds of English flashcards that I distributed to both the village children and to the CUSP high school students. I taught in the Kampong Thom province for 5 days in August. During these 5 days, I visited 5 different rural villages, bringing large, heavy-duty plastic crates of materials with me to each of them. Materials included CD players, textbooks, flashcards, pencils, and crayons. I also funded a projector and established a library in the dorms of the CUSP students. Overall, I made lots of progress towards my goal. But I also identified 2 main obstacles that I would have to address for next year's trip. One was the lack of capable teachers in the village English classes. 2 was the lack of resources in the villages. The Khmer Rouge executed nearly all of Cambodia's educated citizens, which had huge consequences on their education system as a whole, as they have a shortage of educated and capable teachers. This shortage of teachers not only hinders the advancement and progress that the children will make in their studies, but it also completely obstructs the goal of having sustainable English learning. To combat this, I decided, with the help of CUSP, to run a 5-day teaching workshop for the teachers in the village English classes, We will host the teachers for 5 days at the CUSP dorms, helping them develop their English speaking skills, as well as their teaching skills. The second main obstacle was a lack of resources in the villages. Because of the intense poverty within the country, many villages lack the necessities, such as access to electricity or a proper bathroom. With the help of World Vision, CUSP has been able to start providing these villages with facilities such as a proper toilet, tables, chairs, and a concrete floor. For next year, I'm partnering with both CUSP and World Vision to lead a fundraising effort to provide all these villages with the essentials they need to provide educational opportunities for their children. As I stated earlier, my goal is to fight human trafficking through the establishment of sustainable English education. Ultimately, I would love to take this initiative to other parts of Cambodia where other villages are, and also to other countries stricken by both poverty and human trafficking, such as Laos. It was a simple billboard that started me on a journey to make a difference. I could never imagine that something so simple could make such a large impact. Watch out for the simple things in your life. You never know where they might take you. Thank you.